Hi there, I'm Cyan and welcome to Something Sciencey. So I've decided to start on a new topic, and it's going to be an indefinite mini-series called How in the Darwin Did That Evolve? And I'll be looking at things that we take for granted in the everyday world, but when you think about it, they're actually really weird. Before I start with the main topic of today, first I'd like to talk a little bit about evolution. Evolution only occurs in little steps, with each step having to be more advantageous or equally advantageous to the last one, otherwise it won't be successful. So, when we see things like caterpillars turning into butterflies, you have to wonder what stages of evolution led us up to that point. Almost everyone learns the life cycle of a butterfly when they're young, but in case you missed that day at school, or you've never read the literary masterpiece that is The Very Hungry Caterpillar, here's a little refresher for you. Eggs hatch into caterpillars, which eat until they're big enough to form a cocoon, also called a pupa or a chrysalis. Then they turn into a caterpillar soup inside the cocoon before reforming into a butterfly shape, which hatches out and flutters around, beautifully sipping nectar and making more eggs for the next generation. Here's a fun fact. Caterpillars can be trained to avoid certain smells, and when it turns into an adult butterfly, it retains this memory, which means that when it dissolves itself into the cocoon and becomes a caterpillar soup, that soup has a brain with memories and preferences. This type of life cycle is seen in many other insects, and it's called holometabolism. But not all insects do this, and their life cycles can give us an idea of how holometabolism may have evolved. Silverfish are what we call ametabolists. They hatch from eggs looking like tiny adults. Silverfish go through a number of molts in which they get larger each time until they reach adult size. All insects molt by shedding their outer cuticle, which is the tough skin or shell on the outside. In order to essentially shrug off their skin, insects can melt a little bit of their body just underneath the surface, which allows them to detach the skin and then wiggle out of it, which allows them to stretch out, grow, and then reharden their exoskeleton to make a new hard cuticle. It is likely that ametabolism is how all insects started on the evolutionary timeline. The next stage of evolution was insects hatching not as tiny adults, but as juveniles who look different from the adult stage. These may be just missing wings or reproductive organs. Or in some cases they may be different colours, or have defence mechanisms because they're less mobile than adults and still have to defend themselves against predators. Then, as they grow and molt, they look more and more like the adult, and each stage in this life cycle is called an instar. This type of life cycle is called hemimetabolous, and it is seen in insects such as aphids and ladybirds. Now, imagine if you will, that the climate suddenly changes and the winters get a lot colder. One of the insects has a mutation which allows one of the instars to be dormant, and this dormant stage allows that one insect to survive the winter and therefore have a lot of other babies which can then have a dormant instar stage. The adult form then becomes more complex and vastly different from the juvenile stage. So instead of taking lots of tiny steps to become the adult, in this dormant stage, more than just the cuticle melts off, and this then allows more complex structures to form in just one molting. These complex structures may be large wings to attract a mate or to fly faster from predators. Eventually, this line of insects becomes all of the holometabolous insects that we see today, which completely disintegrate in the cocoon. And this includes the butterfly. Bonus fact, the silk for the cocoon probably evolved in the Jurassic period, which is when flowering plants also first came around. Hey, I hope you enjoyed that. Don't forget to like this video if you like it, and subscribe so you don't miss any more of this new mini-series that I'm creating. If you have any topics that you would like to see, then let me know in the comments. I have a couple of commenters that have given me some ideas that hopefully you'll see in the coming months. But if you would like to see anything else, then let me know. But as always, you've come for the science and now stay for the song. If you don't spread your wings like a butterfly after long months of being tucked inside, didn't know you had them till that special time, and then puberty hits and you can take the sky. If you can grow up without having to make a fuss, without a life cycle attached superfluous, then you're probably not holometabulous. Don't turn yourself into caterpillar slush, and you know you hatched from a tiny egg. You're an insect because you have 6 legs. There's a number of possibilities. You never know, you just might be a metabolous. If you don't change your colors like a ladybird, or make a transformation that is quite absurd, then despite everything else that you have heard, I don't think hemi-metabolism is your word. So if you can recognize your face, no matter how much your skin might change, you can slough off your skin and replace your case, but you know that you have found your place. You know you hatched from a tiny egg. You're an insect because you have 6 legs, and there's a number of possibilities. You never know, you just might be a metabolous. You're an old soul, a tiny adult, you just have to grow. Such an old soul, you're perfect, no need to evolve. You know you hatched from a tiny egg. You're an insect because you have 6 legs. There's a number of possibilities. You know you just might be a metabolous. You might be a metabolous. You might be a metabolous. You might be a metabolous. Thanks for watching. Bye!